fourth in the six-part SPAR Grand Prix series in 2023 took place in Mbombela in Mpumalanga on a cold Saturday morning in July. Last year, the Grand Prix returned to the city after many years of absence, and their excitement before the start was obvious as the SPAR to You dancers led the crowd in a happy celebration of fun and fitness. A key part of the SPAR race series is for everyone to share the experience with a large group of women of all ages and athletic abilities who have come to test themselves against either the 5 or 10-kilometer route. For some, a fast time or top position was important, but for others, just finishing the course would be enough. The venue was the splendid Mbombela Stadium, where music and dancing set the tone for the day. But behind all the festivities lay a deadly serious race for the elite athletes, among whom was previous SPAR Grand Prix winner Kesa Molutsani.
Kesa Molutsani, good morning. Former winner of the SPAR Grand Prix series. It's been very hard up front there for the South African girls to make a really good impression. But what are your chances this morning? How are you feeling?
It's really cold. Good morning, everyone, but it's really, really cold. Very difficult conditions this morning, but I hope the girls would pull through. But we're really looking forward to a good run. And I think throughout the rest of the Grand Prix we'll have better times. I think we've already seen a sub-32 from a South African, so that gives us a lot of hope.
After 3 races on flat, fast coastal courses, this one presented some challenges. Basically, an out and back route from the stadium. The runners went north before turning around and returning the same way. Several hills will make the elite runners' tactical choices important in the end result. The runners settled down, waiting for the starter. After the countdown, they were on their way. The elites and a handful of others just hoping for a good start took off quickly. Behind them, hundreds of others, all eager to get on their way after weeks of anticipation. For local Mpumalanga women runners, this was their chance to take to the roads in a race without men, and the 10-kilometer distance was an ideal test of their abilities, being achievable by even the most social of joggers. The range of athletic abilities was vast. While the winners would finish close to 33 minutes, those further back would be hoping for a sub-40, sub-50 or sub-60 minute result. For the rest, well, just a comfortable finish would be fine. A range of low-felt clubs was represented, including the popular Low-Mid Club. While many runners chose to wear the popular SPAR race t-shirt, some runners had their names on their race bibs, no doubt ending up as collector's items afterwards. Up front, it was all business as the elite runners, all of them seasoned international stars, started their 30-odd minutes of tactical, physical and mental challenges that make up a SPAR Grand Prix race. While the back markers were crossing the start line, the leaders were already on their way to the first kilometer mark. Blandina Makatisi of Maxed Elite led the way, with Tadunare and Salam Gebre in the green of Nedbank and Glenrose Kaba of Boxer close by. One runner appearing in her first SPAR race was the tall figure of Dorcas Ajok, running for Newton Sports. There were 2 key aspects at play here. The first was the race for prize money, substantial in anyone's book. But the real race was for precious SPAR Grand Prix points, and with 3 races in the 6 races series already decided, today would be crucial in terms of who finished in the top 5 at the end of the series. Lebu Palula of Boxer was one runner hoping to grab a top 6 position in October. There were 4 non-South Africans up there: Dorcas Ajok, Salam Gebre, Tadunare and Lesotho runner Blandina Makatisi underlined the international status of this series, while Glenrose Kaba, Patisile Sosibo and Kesa Molutsani headlined the local challenge. Sosibo of Boxer has already broken through this year and is solidly the second best SA runner after Kaba. And her Boxer club is dominating the club competition as well. There has been a consistent pattern all through the Grand Prix this year. Sosibo sits back safely in the top 6, while the 2 Ethiopians and Kaba make the pace for long stretches of the race. Out in the sunshine and passing the typical bushveld, The leaders pressed on, all of them aware that the real challenge would come on the hilly second half of the race. Gender-based violence is a well-known scourge in South Africa, and SPAR has focused its attention on eliminating it as far as possible. In the Lowveld, the Greater Rape Intervention Project, also known as GRIP, deals with the high levels of rape and abuse in the region. GRIP was initiated and is run by volunteers and offers services to all rape and abuse survivors.
So GRIP is the Greater Nelspruit Rape Intervention Project Group, and we are a non-profit organisation that helps victims of gender-based violence. So our intention is basically to turn victims into survivors. What we do is walk the full journey with any client that reports that they have experienced rape, sexual violence, domestic violence. So from the time that you report right up until your day in court, we are with you throughout that entire journey. And we refer to that as our GRIP Circle of Care.
What I love most about GRIP is that we are trying to put an end to gender-based violence, even though it's a long run, but we are starting somewhere and getting somewhere.
Statistics show us that men are the perpetrators in most cases, so we have to start there. Have campaigns around take your boy child to school, like we're having the one to take a girl child to school. We have a similar one for boys, and then we educate them about gender-based violence. What is it? What exactly it is? How then do we prevent a situation whereby we perpetuate this gender-based violence?
You never think it's going to be you. You wake up every day and you assume that these things happen to other people. But it can happen to you, and it did happen to me. I'm an avid runner. I train for Comrades every year. I'm very involved in the running community in Nelspruit. I run all the local races. I left home, it was 6 o'clock, and I ran actually onto the bypass road, which actually is the same road that this race is taking place on. I ran over the bridge. I was attacked. Someone came out of the bush, so I was dragged into the bushes. I was obviously sexually assaulted and violated. It was terrifying. I thought I was going to die, so he dragged me down to the river. Managed to swim across the river. I actually stopped halfway. There was like a massive thing of grass, like sticks and stuff in the middle of the river, and I remember pulling myself up onto it and thinking, how do I have the energy now to get to the other side? And what if he's coming around? And all the things that were playing in my head, but I just had to get home. And this happened 1 kilometer from my home. Yeah, I managed to make my way back up to the road from the river. Such a kind couple stopped and helped. He ran out of the car, he picked me up, he put me in his car. He phoned the ambulance. I couldn't remember my husband's phone number, I couldn't remember anything. I think it was probably more difficult for my husband than it was for me even. He hadn't gone through it physically, but certainly emotionally for him, you know, as a man, you have a protective instinct. I think a lot of things, you know, why did I let her run? All those things, stupid questions went through his head, because it really is not his fault at all. Even if he said don't run, I would have gone anyway. I landed up in ICU then for a week with compromised kidneys. My globin levels were way out of whack. I was bruised from head to toe. There was really nothing left of me. It changed me, and I hate that it happened. I hate that GBV continues. But you can choose to lie down and you can choose to let it destroy you, or you can choose to light a fire in yourself and use your experience to help other people. That is what I want to do through my work that I do at GRIP.
GRIP does amazing work helping victims of gender-based violence.
My name is Temba Mdlovu from GRIP. I am ending gender-based violence.
I am a rape survivor, and I would love to see us live in a world free from gender-based violence.
A woman can do whatever a man can do.
Then it was time for the 5-kilometer challenge to start. Traditionally, this is where almost everyone, apart from a few ambitious young runners, are happy to take a brisk walk out in the Mbombela sunshine. The name of the game was dressing up, finding a group of friends, completing the course, collecting your medal, and enjoying the post-race entertainment. No one minded if there were a few men out there as well. And how about running all the way up the hill? Well, not today, thanks. And people were quite happy to have a quick word.
I'm enjoying it.
With 4 kilometers gone, the lead group was close to the turn point. Nare led the way, followed by Ajok, Makatisi, Kaba, Gebri and Sosibo. The pace was comfortable, with Nare electing to hold back, allowing Katrisile to remain close by in the 6th spot. The pair of Ethiopian runners, both in the green of Nedbank, have dominated the series so far. Salam, closest to the camera, finished 3rd in all 3 races this season, with Tadu, winner of the SPAR Grand Prix both in 2021 and 2022, took the honours in both the Kabeja and Durban races this year. Only Ajok is a new face in the series. It was a different story back in the 10K race and in the 5-kilometer fun run. Volunteers are crucial to the success of road races, doing the marshalling and handing medical duties. Many more were out before dawn in the cold, setting up the essential water point stations. Although the SPAR Grand Prix as a competition started back in 2008, the SPAR Women's Challenge Series began with a single race in Durban, 1991, with Johannesburg, Tshwane, Port Elizabeth, Mbombela and Cape Town coming later. This means that the series is now 32 years old, and over the years, more than 1 million women have enjoyed the unique experience of running and walking 5 or 10 Ks out in open air with their friends. Before COVID, the races in Durban, Tshwane and Cape Town regularly attracted well over 20,000 participants. Even Mbombela managed to attract up to 3,000 women in its early races. One of the hills on the route came just before the turn point, and the trio of visiting runners took the opportunity to turn on the gas and get a small gap on Kaba, Makatisi and Sosibo. At this stage, the Ugandan runner Dorcas Ajok looked quite happy in this company, and no one knew what the tall Newton sports athlete had in store. Heading back downhill, the group was well spread out, with Glenrose now just ahead of arch-rival Blandina. The two of them have had an intense rivalry all year. With the long downhill beckoning, the question was, who would be the first to make a decisive break? This is a familiar scene in SPAR Grand Prix races this year. Tadunare and Salam Gebre racing head-to-head and once again leaving the competition battling for their final podium place. But now it's time to move away from the race for a while as we enter the murky world of gender-based violence, a key focus area of the SPAR organization. This time, the story is about a runner who is no stranger to the SPAR Challenge series. Let's go back to Mbombela to hear about it.
My name is Estelle Bullen. I am from Lydenburg, Mpumalanga. We are farmers on the farm Doringhoek. I grew up on a farm, so I was farming with my dad all my life. Looking after the cattle, looking after the sheep, taking my horse, riding in the morning before school in the summer, or in the afternoons, instead of doing homework, quickly take a ride with the horse and go check if the cattle and sheep are all right, was miraculous times. Well, my running career actually started when I turned 40. When I turned 40, it was my aim to do a half marathon. And I turned 40 the December. In January, there was a 15K in Mashadadorp, so I went to run that, and then I joined a running club, and in March I did my first 21. At Lydenburg, it was the long-term half marathon. It started up at Maagsburg, which is very cold, the highest spot in Mpumalanga, and we ran from there to Lydenburg town. I've run in SPAR Women's Challenge, not in the Grand Prix, but in a virtual racing during COVID, and I have participated in them, and it's just lovely. I love it. I love the vibe, and it's good for me to see all the women participating, regardless age, size, you know, they're just all there, and we just enjoy it together. The incident took place, unfortunately, on the 18th of September 2015. My husband was still busy working outside in the sheds. Our labour had gone home at about 5:30. Got about 7 o'clock and I thought, my husband's not in yet. Let me just go out and call and see how far is he. I don't want to start making supper and he's not in yet. And as I walked out the back door around the corner, these people grabbed me. They took me into the house. They hammered us and, they really hurt us. It was very dramatic and it was very tragic. They had me in the bedroom and beating me up and swearing and cursing, and they wanted the money and they wanted the key for the safe. With me telling them that I can't give them a key, I haven't got the key, they burnt me with an iron, with a laundry iron. They got my husband, they brought him into the room. He took out the key from his pocket for the safe. He gave it to them to open the safe. They couldn't open the safe. He asked them to give me the key that I can open the safe, and they took out the money that was in the safe. There were 16 of them. I had 8 around my bed in my room at one stage. So you can imagine how I feel, because, you've got this 8 guys, and they basically stripped me naked, and it was horrid. So they took us, they locked us in one of the bedrooms, and then they left the house. My husband was in hospital for 2 days, and he went back to the farm. I was there like 4 weeks. I've been in theatre every week. I was burned so very badly. By the grace of God, some of these people were caught. Some of our goods we found back. Rick, I had to be in court on various occasions concerning this whole case, and I had to forgive them to find myself. Because you can have this grudge against people, but the Bible tells you you've got to forgive. I forgave them, but I didn't forget what happened. What I can just say to people that are going through the same situation, I know it's awkward to be in those circumstances, but don't go sit down and feel sorry for yourself. The sun shines basically every day. There's light in life. Go and look for the light. You still got a purpose because you survived it.
From the sad world of GBV, we go back to our Mbombela SPAR challenge, where the atmosphere remains happy, even though some of the participants are looking a little weary as the distance takes its toll. It was now a kilometre after the turn and 4 Ks to go for the Nedbank pair. Salam Gebre has finished second in all the races so far, twice behind Tadunare and beaten by Hiyani Lama in the season open in Cape Town back in April. And today, she had the daunting task of challenging the 2-time Grand Prix winner, whose stature as a world-class runner has dramatically improved in the past 2 years. As the runners going the other way cheered them on, Nare took the lead on a downhill, while Gebre fell off a bit, victim of her friend's searing pace that has increased to about 3 minutes per kilometre. On the winding road back to the Mbombela Stadium, Nare piled on the pressure as the media folks in the press truck looked on, as always amazed by the sheer power of the tiny Ethiopian athlete. It was less than 2 years ago, at the end of a victorious 2021 SPAR Grand Prix season, that Tadu ventured into the world of marathon running. Immediately, she struck gold, winning the Barcelona Marathon on debut in 2 hours 24 minutes. In this Mbombela race last year, Tadu ran the penultimate kilometre in under 3 minutes to destroy the field. And this year, another long surge after 8 Ks put the issue once again beyond doubt. With 3 wins under her belt and the new Grand Prix rule that a runner's 4 best results out of 6 races will count for the final Grand Prix standings, she is in pole position to win her 3rd consecutive title. Just one more good race in either Tshwane or Johannesburg will do the trick. This is definitely not a fast course, and Mbombela's altitude would also have an effect. A time of under 33 minutes could rightly be called brilliant. The crowd lining the finish straight knew this, and as the clock on the finish line ticked the seconds over, they knew they'd seen something special. With Salam Gebre now 23 seconds behind, Tadunare completed her 14th consecutive SPAR Grand Prix win, an unbroken series going back into early 2021. Salam Gebre also had an outstanding run, dipping under the magic 33-minute barrier by 9 seconds. She is well used to placing second this year, achieving that in Cape Town, Gqeberha and Durban as well. the last two behind Nare. Although she's technically on top of the leaderboard with the 4 races to count rule in play, her likely position at the end of the season will be second. With 106 points in the bag, second place is guaranteed. 300 meters back, Blandina Makatisi found herself ahead of Glenrose Kaba for the first time in the Grand Prix this year. But neither of them could catch SPAR debutant Dorcas Ajok, the Ugandan runner grabbing the final podium position with a time of 33.25. Makatisi ran 33.28 and Kaba 33.34, while Kaklisile Sosibo finished 6th in 33.40, meaning that just 15 seconds separated 3rd from 6th. Glenrose has had a busy year of racing, mostly successful, but today she looked a bit tired.
I can say that I'm very excited about the performance of today. To run 33 in this course shows that I'm still on the good shape. I think that 31 from Durban is still on my legs because I was running PB after PB, so that is taking a lot in the body.
A previous South African SPAR Grand Prix winner was Kesa Muluzani, who also had a spell as a SPAR Challenge ambassador. This year, there is substantial prize money for SA runners at both individual race and overall Grand Prix levels, so Kesa was once again right up there amongst the locals. On this occasion, though, the Bloemfontein athlete could only manage 7th position, but her time of 34.43 was still competitive in a strong field.
The race was amazing. So this is actually a very good route. It's just that obviously now because of the weather and the kind of weather that we had this morning, things really didn't turn out the way we would have expected. We do find those times where we really have newcomers into the block, and that helps a lot of athletes to get out of their comfort zone and to really get their A game.
Lebu Palula of the Boxer Club finished an excellent 9th.
Last year when I was running this race, I was getting tired, but now I don't know what is happening. I'm getting back to my shape. Hopefully with those 2 SPAR days left, I'm going to be in the top 5, definitely. I want to do my best.
Judy Bird once again won the over 60s race.
The sun coming up and the sort of nail spray, you get the feeling of the Kruger Park kind of thing. And the drafts on the stadium there, and I just felt good actually. It was just like, oh wow, it's just great to be alive and living in Africa.
3rd place Dorcas Ajok enjoyed her maiden SPAR race journey.
In the SPAR Women's Challenge from Nedbank.
My race was good. I enjoyed the race, though the coldness and the course was a bit tough, but it was a nice race. The route was clear. I'm so grateful to be in Mbombela.
The podium was taken by 3 foreign runners, 2 from Ethiopia and 1 from Uganda, and the crowd gave them a warm, low-felt welcome.
All in all, like you said, the weather was a bit challenging, including the course. It was a bit hilly, ups and downs, but the fact that you know that's part of the race. And when I heard that there was a new athlete coming to join us, I was looking forward to it and excited, because now I thought about improving. Now I have someone to help me improve my time, so I looked forward for the challenge.
Nare won comfortably by 23 seconds from Gebre, both runners breaking 33 minutes. Kian Oldno and Lebogang Palula also made the top 10, with the top 8 breaking 35 minutes. Jackie Kurse was the first junior in 38.41 from Corliss Stolz, while Catherine Skosana took the over 40s in 40.01 ahead of Simone Buerta. Ronelle Thomas got the better of Janine Carey in the over 50 race, while Judy Bird won the over 60s by 10 minutes. In the overall SPAR Grand Prix, Salam Gebre is 10 points ahead of Glenrose Kaba, with Makatisi on 96. Tadunare is lurking dangerously on 90 points with a race in hand. Ugandan runner Dorcas Ajok hung on to the final podium position ahead of Blandina Makatisi, who got the better of Glenrose Kaba for the first time in the Grand Prix this year. Then it was the chance for everyone to celebrate and enjoy the festivities after the finish. Medals in hand, drinks available and music playing. It was a scene to be remembered with selfies and photographs in abundance. It is clear that the decision in 2022 to bring Mbombela back onto the SPAR Challenge calendar was an excellent one. Great organization and value for money translated into a huge increase in participation numbers, and importantly, a fine time was had by all. Next up is Tshwane. See you there.